Hello, Alex Plus LEDs here, and this is the DIY USB LED light kit. So this is what it looks like when it's assembled. 4 LEDs, 4 resistors on a PCB, and that PCB plugs into a USB port. And here I'm using a power bank, so you can turn a power bank into a flashlight. And it produces quite a bit of light. It's kind of blinding if you actually look at it. Although it looks a little bit yellow in the recording, it is actually white. So you need a couple tools to assemble this kit. First tool you need is a soldering iron. Pretty much any soldering iron with a conical tip will work. You need wire cutters / flush cutters to trim the leads of the components on the other side of the PCB. You need some helping hands to hold the PCB in place as you're soldering to it. And here is what the kit comes with. Get a PCB. It looks like this. And you populate components onto it. You get 4 white straw hat LEDs. They look like that. You also get 4 1K ohm resistors. And these are 1/8 of a watt. You also get 4 82 ohm resistors, and these are also 1/8 of a watt. I'll explain why I provide 2 different values of resistors later on. And you also get a piece of sandpaper. And in addition, you get a piece of solder. So onto the assembly. The first thing we want to do is solder the LEDs into place. If you notice on the PCB there, we got a flat side, and the LEDs have a long lead and a short lead, and the short lead corresponds to the flat side of the LED. So what you want to do is you want to put that short lead lined up with the little flat side of the stencil on the PCB, and then just jam it in place and bend the leads over, and do that to the other 3 LEDs. Just the same, populate the LED, bend the leads, and moving on to the next step, where we're going to go ahead and place this PCB into my helping hands to keep it in place as I solder it. So to solder this, all you need to do is heat up the joint with your soldering iron and apply a little bit of solder, form a little solder blob, and solder all the pins from the LEDs. Once those have been soldered, what we're going to go ahead and do is take our flush cutters and just chop off the excess material from the LEDs. This is pretty simple. Try not to get these to shoot into your eye because you might hurt yourself. So I'm just going to go ahead and clip off all of these LED leads. Now that these LEDs have been trimmed, we're going to go ahead and move on to soldering the resistors. So you have an option of using 1K ohm resistors at the top or 82 ohm resistors at the bottom. So as you can see, if you use the 82 ohm resistors, it's pretty bright compared to the 1K ohm ones. So I'm going to go ahead and use the 82 ohm resistors. So to place the resistors, all you need to do is bend the resistors into kind of a U shape like this, and then just place it into the hole for the resistors. Push it through and then bend the leads out of the way, and do that to the rest of the resistors. Here I've sped it up for you so it's a little less boring to watch. And once these have all been bent, what we're going to go ahead and do is secure it into our helping hands. And again, we're going to solder all of the resistors into place, all 4 of them. And once those have been soldered, what we're going to go ahead and do is take our flush cutters and just chop off the excess material from the resistors so that it is a little bit neater. And once that's done, the LED kit is pretty much done. That was pretty simple, so let's test it. Here I have a USB power bank, the USB port. Go ahead and plug that in, and there you go. Everything works. So there's a little optional step to make the LED kit a little better. So if you look at the back side, it's a little bit pokey, and what the sandpaper is for is to sand off the leads that poke through the PCB so that it is not as pokey on your hand. So here I am just sanding through a bunch of this stuff to make the LED kit a little bit easier to handle. And after quite a bit of sanding, we're left with this, where the PCB is a little bit sanded off. That's okay, there's no traces on that side. However, the back side is completely smooth and it's no longer pokey. And you plug it in the USB power bank, check that it works, and that's pretty much it. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.